Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time now on ON Radio. Wednesday morning. It's February 21st. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union is here. Hi, Tim.
Good morning, Joe.
And John Ward.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, everybody out there. Lovely day.
After checking the thanks, good Dave Richards impersonation. After checking our calendar, we realized that Melissa Smith will not be joining us today. It's school vacation week, so she's doing something with the kids.
Yes,
logical.
as she should.
As she should. So she'll be here next week, but we are going to get a first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Oh, you get it.
The ultimate in assisted living is the Villa at St. Antoine. St. Antoine Community offers older adults a continuum of care to realize their fullest potential and highest level of independence through the support of dedicated professionals. Activities 7 days a week to keep the body and mind engaged. Come in for a tour today and learn about the St. Antoine Way. Villa at St. Antoine, 400 Mendon Road, North Smithfield.
Well, I put Tim into a panic right there.
Clearly.
It is not Navigant's time. It is the Villa at St. Antoine time as the sponsors.
I was not prepared.
We're all set to go now. We get the Tim's all calm. Have some more coffee, Tim. Okay?
Double espresso.
So, John, are we just going to switch it to a council meeting every week, every day, every other day? What's going on?
Lord.
There's another one tonight.
It's incredible. Well, it was a small mistake made because this resolution that's on the agenda for tonight for a guaranteed 5-minute meeting. Don't bother to come down to City Hall. We'll tell you all about it. It's not a big thing, but it's about a maintenance agreement with the state of Rhode Island to do work. We're paying for part of it. The state's paying for part of it. It's for 4 bridges in the city that are on Mill Street, Blackstone Street, 5 bridges, Wood Avenue, Diamond Hill Road, and Privilege Street. They're all going to be either resurfaced and repaired down to the base, or they're going to have repairs done, and then there's some sidewalk improvements being done. And the city has to contribute to that an amount of money. This should have been on the last agenda Monday night, but it just didn't get through the mix to get there. So we already have money appropriated for sidewalks and roads in the ARPA funds, so we're going to use that money. And if we have to replace it sometime later for other things, we'll do that. But it's to contribute to $167,150 towards this work to be done jointly with the state to do this rehab or repair of 5 bridges in the city, all the small bridges over certain things.
So do they repair one bridge at a time, or can we do
I don't
2
know.
bridges at the same
I
time?
would
or?
hope they're doing one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it shouldn't be too hard. Like on 3 of them, I think they're just replacing the deck. They're not taking out the bridge. I think the only one that they're fully replacing is Privilege Street, which is over by the water that the Mill River that comes out of the pond in Blackstone. Harris Pond drops down to the Blackstone. That bridge is being replaced, but the others are pretty much just strip off the deck and freshen it up with new material, I guess, and do some sidewalk work. And
Hopefully
like
they'll
I
check
said,
the
this
pins.
could have been on the last agenda.
Yeah.
It just didn't get picked up in time to put on the agenda, and the solicitor profusely apologized. But that's why we said 5-minute meeting without even turning on the YouTube. It's I'm not even having the clerk show up. I'm going to take the
Do
minutes.
it yourself.
Just do it myself. Roll call.
Here,
Vote on the resolution.
eyes for everybody.
Motion to adjourn.
Done.
Might even take 2 minutes.
Comments on the resolution?
5:30 in the
You
afternoon.
should just do it in the stairwell.
If we advertised it as in the stairwell, we could. If we advertised it at the entrance to City Hall, we could.
On the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk.
Are we all here?
As long as we advertise where we're doing
Where are you
it.
doing it? Okay, so
Then we could do it.
you're in Harris Hall. So, all right. Well, have fun with that tonight.
Oh, I'm going to pick up the dog, and I might even just bring the dog with me because
Dog can vote.
Well, mascot for the city
as
council.
long as I'm ready to give him a treat, he'll raise his
Oh,
hand.
there you go. All right. All right. Well, okay. That's the city council meeting for tonight. So last night, tough night on Route 295.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
This doesn't normally happen on 295.
I left work at
2
5.
accidents.
I left work at 5:15, and the traffic was backed up from Route 7.
So did you see was this the truck or was it the 2 cars?
Well, I got a text message from a friend of mine who had just passed the truck
Okay.
as it went through its flip,
Oh,
and said,
wow.
"Oh, don't come this way.
Yeah.
And then I'd heard that there was another accident a little bit before that in the traffic. And then when I pulled on, I went over on Route 7, went over 295, looked to my left and saw some brake lights. I'm like, wow, if that's the traffic, that's not good. I got on to 295, saw the brake lights get off 295 on Route 7, went the back way home. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to
Back down 116.
And then when I went over 116, the traffic was just both sides of 116, just red lights everywhere. I'm like, holy cow.
So
This
the
is like
truck
the
flip.
Washington Bridge.
Yep. The truck flip on 295 in Lincoln Tuesday afternoon near Route 146. Police just said the driver lost control and then veered into the high-speed lane. The truck was owned by a construction company. They don't say which one. No one injured. But items from inside the vehicle scattered across the highway. Please go pick that up.
It was a plastering truck. There's white plaster
All over the highway.
It's not plaster, but it's like the dust, the material.
Okay, one person was transported to Landmark with minor injuries, and then later on, two-car accident on 295 North in Cumberland. One of the cars, poof, up
Oh
in
yeah, that's a
flames.
different one. There were three things on.
Oh, there was a
295
third.
last night.
Good one.
Right.
So were the first car accident connected to the truck accident?
Yeah, the first car accident apparently was just something as in traffic people were just trying to.
That's what I mean.
Right. So I don't think it was anything
So the truck was separate. So
significant.
there's two separate car
separate
accidents and a separate
Yeah.
truck.
Right, and then closer to the Cumberland exits, there was a 2-car accident with a fire.
Yes.
But this morning it sounded like they had sideswiped each other.
That's
And they got out of the cars,
that's
and
what
one of
we
the
got.
cars caught on fire. I'm like, how does that happen?
Tesla.
Tesla.
They're investigating.
Polestar.
It's unclear what caused the fire, just so
Right.
far. So, yes, and you're right. A two-car collision happened right after the truck flipped on 295.
Yeah, it was not a good day on
What an
295
interesting
North.
afternoon on
Right.
295.
Yikes.
That you don't normally, at least not up this way. You hear it sometimes down in the Cranston and Warwick.
Yeah,
and,
down the Canyon area and down on
yeah,
those stuff.
well, that
I
happens,
think
but
that's
up
a
this way,
Canyon
that's a
area
tough.
where everybody's fighting over lanes.
I know
Yeah.
it's tough the way they got the bridge on 146. The bridges being done, how they're squeezing everybody down to 2 lanes. When I go to work in the morning, it seems like everybody from Massachusetts has never driven 295 north, Joe, 295 south. They get to that, so the high speed lane ends, and then you merge into the middle lane and the right lane, and the people from Massachusetts are flying by me on 295 trying to.
Pass
It's
you.
like they've either forgotten that that's there, or they've never traveled it before and they didn't know it was coming, and then all of a sudden it's like everybody's trying to jam into the lane. Like,
Then
people.
the northbound isn't much better
Nope.
because you're going from 3 to 2
Yep.
after you get the exit to get off to 116. So then you go straight to 2 lanes. Then you got the merging traffic coming in and not into 1 lane, into 2 lanes
Right.
because you're into the lane and you're into the exit ramp.
Yep.
So people coming from here are trying to get over there. People come from there trying to get over there. And somebody's trying to stay on the left, but it sort of merges in and then merges out,
It's
goes out.
it's crazy traffic
It's,
pattern.
and it's still years to go.
Yeah, something like that.
Because
and then they get to do the
they're
other
only
side.
working on one section that's
Right.
been the same now for a year.
And then they get to the other
And
side.
when
and
they
do-
finish with that, then they got to close off other lanes and move it around
oh man,
while they're doing 146 over.
The fun
again.
never ends.
the lesson there is just be patient, everybody.
It's amazing.
Take it
It's
a little
amazing
easier.
how much time $167 million can take. Well, that's just the 146.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know if the 295 bridges are connected to the 146 Sales Hill Road thing. I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
so.
They're separate.
It's-
Separate, yeah.
But it's that whole 146 sort of corridors they were really redoing, right? They finished
Yes.
up the ones in Lincoln
Right,
on 146, then they moved to the bridges, and then the 146 Salesville Hill Road.
Yeah, it was
interchange.
the whole 295 up to the Mass line.
Yeah, they were just
situation.
rehabbing everything. But I just worry what kind of resources are going to get taken away to do the Washington Bridge when that needs to get repaired
Yeah.
from all these other
the,
projects.
The 146 Sales Hill Road project is a special federal allocation of funds, I think, specifically to that project. So it's not just DOT
they're
money
building
coming
Yep.
in from the feds. If anything, it might cause problems for some of the bridges that have not been done yet. Like, I think were they talking about replacing the bridge on Diamond Hill Road?
Yeah, Diamond Hill Road over
Yeah,
the
that might get
295.
delayed some. Because
That'd be okay.
I don't think that's a tragic status.
No.
It's just sort of
Tragic.
We have to get it.
It's a-
at
just-
tragic
it's just sort of-
status
Tragedy.
first before
It's
we
just sort of one of those things. Oh yeah, there's a bridge over there. Let's replace
No, the
it.
one that really makes me nervous, and only people in Cumberland will know this because this is very inside baseball. But there's a small bridge on Diamond Hill Road at the Nate Whipple Highway intersection by
Yes.
Bentley Field.
That's
It's a
up for
two-lane bridge.
remo-
That's up for
They're talking
replacement.
about taking it out. That's the one bridge I think I've actually heard people suggest that it might end up happening where they say, look, get your measurements, build the bridge somewhere else, take that one out, and
Put it
drop
in.
the new one in. Because it's only
The way the
like,
Japanese do
It's
it.
30 feet,
it's only
40
30 feet long.
Yeah, it's
that's
not
right.
long.
It's tiny.
I mean, you
But
could
it-
drop it in with a crane in half a day.
But the amount of traffic
That goes
and
over it.
that goes over it every day is insane. And
Yeah.
the rescue vehicles, that's
There's no way around it.
There's no
really.
way around. You'd have to
Well,
go
right.
up into Cumberland Hill, back down West Rentham Road, back down Pine Swamp Road
That's another-
to come in the back way.
That's another
Or-
20 minutes.
That's
or
the way
half
I'm
an
going to
hour.
have to go.
Or down Diamond Hill Road, if you're trying to get there, you'd have to take the left onto Reservoir, go up Reservoir, all the way up into the back roads, and then
Right,
out back.
North Attleboro Road.
Only to come back out around where
The bridge
Abbott Run Valley Road is.
Yeah, it's
Near the bridge.
Right.
Because you basically go around the reservoir.
right.
Yeah.
So it's these little bridges that you don't think have a major impact, and when you realize that they're going to get taken out of service, it's like, holy cow,
yeah.
that's a huge impact. How are the rescue vehicles going to get?
But
there?
that is a perfect candidate for build it off site,
Right.
drop it in.
I mean, I
'Cause
hate
it's
to
only
say-
two lanes.
Right, and I hate to say take the Bentley Field away because we have enough trouble with baseball fields, not enough baseball fields in town. But the reality is that is a perfectly flat spot. You can literally bring the materials in, build your bridge there, truck it down the road
Drop
50 feet, and drop it in
okay.
place.
There's room to build it there without affecting the fields.
I think they might
It'll,
be.
it'll affect parking a little.
Or
but,
Schofield, or you could do it on Schofield Farm Field, which is
yeah.
the other one right down the road.
They could rent some of the land that's just grass area beyond the parking lot at the church and build it there.
Use St. John Vianney.
You could. Hey, we could use the money at St. John Vianney.
There
We'll
you
rent you the
go.
back lot.
Pay them rent.
That's right.
All right. We did get a note that was called in on a completely different subject. No matter how the season ends, or the season unfolds, I should say, Providence College men's basketball has done remarkably well. Losing one of their best players early in the season, Hopkins went out with a torn ACL. Posting a 17-9 record currently is an overachievement. Hats off to Kim English, their coach, their defense, and one of the best guards in the conference, Devin Carter. To get to 20, and the team is very much alive to get to the tournament.
You know what I find refreshing about that guy?
What?
Kim English, the coach, he's just honest. You know,
Okay.
he when his team doesn't play well, he's like, "Yeah, we were bad, and here's where we're bad." Bing, 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 and it's the players' fault. They need to get more disciplined and
Yeah.
need to be more mature when they go out there on the field. He's not pulling any punches in the press, and I admire that, and I think that's risky at some point
did
too.
well.
But you know what? These are college kids. They're not pro athletes with
Right.
the massive egos, so they're still looking to make the big show someday
But
about
even-
college.
Or maybe he's teaching them never to get a massive ego.
Maybe.
Even English said on their last win, he wasn't happy with the way they played.
Right.
With the last 2 minutes, you guys are mailing it in basically. So
And honestly, he will take the blame when it's the coaching fault as well. And
sure.
I've heard him do that too. It's not the Bill Belichick answer with we need to be better in all three phases of the game. It's no, this phase was bad, and you need to do this better, and we need to do this
we're on
better.
to Marquette.
Run a Marquette.
Or sometimes Belichick goes so far as, we're only concerned about wherever they're playing next week.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, on to Cincinnati.
That's right, man. That's Cincinnati. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. This portion of Coffee and has been sponsored by the St. Antoine Communities.
With a
The
continuum.
ultimate in assisted living is the Villa at St. Antoine. St. Antoine Community offers older adults a continuum of care to realize their fullest potential and highest level of independence through the support of dedicated professionals. Activities 7 days a week to keep the body and mind engaged. Come in for a tour today and learn about the St. Antoine Way. Villa at St. Antoine, 400 Mendon Road, North Smithfield.
Your body transformation begins when you stop into Positive Vibes Nutrition and see James and Nina. They offer nutritious shakes and teas, and they can do a free wellness evaluation for you. Visit the Facebook page of Positive Vibes Nutrition to see testimonials from people who are losing weight by following the plan they devised for you. Positive Vibes Nutrition, 1173 Social Street, Woonsocket, next to Loads of Fun Laundromat. And coming in early spring will be their second location, Soul Shine Nutrition, 585 Smithfield Road, North Smithfield, next door to Stop and Shop. The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. But thanks for joining us. John Ward and Tim Draper's here. Melissa Smith could not be with us this week. It's school vacation week. So they're saying it's a big case of sticker shock with the soccer stadium now costing $132 million. And this is, I thought about it. John's still laughing, but I go, it's so Rhode Island. All right, we're going to have a soccer stadium, and we're going to have retail, and there's a hotel going in where Apex is, and it's going to be great, and it's only going to cost this amount of money. And here we are 2 or 3 years later. Okay, we only get the stadium, and it's going to cost double what you thought.
Double? A little more than that.
More than that? Is it? Okay.
Well, listen,
More than double. Wow.
And also the Woo Sox in Worcester, they went in with a price that they gave the city of Worcester, and I think it cost them twice as much as it originally did to do all those improvements.
But if they paid for it, I don't know if the city of Worcester paid for it.
Well, the city of Worcester, I think, had some skin in the game.
Did they?
Because they also
Okay.
had to do all the infrastructure around the stadium, which I think they committed to, which was probably their skin in the game.
I'm starting to have a profound appreciation for the city of Virginia Beach, which has a population that just dwarfs the state of Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. And I asked my son, I said, gee, you live there, and there's no professional sports team there at all.
No minor league
at a high
anything?
level. I think there's maybe a double-A team or
All
something.
right.
And I'm starting to have a lot of appreciation for their wisdom. They could easily afford, I say afford, they could easily have a major franchise there because they've got more than enough population.
Yeah.
They've got new people coming and going all the time with a military presence. They've got lots and lots of people living in the area and the surrounding communities, and yet they have nothing. And other than just the beach front and their economy based on travel and leisure. But every time I see one of these things built, it's so ridiculously expensive. And I never see anybody talking about how much a community makes off of it. They talk about all these ancillary benefits that come from business development and restaurants and shopping and all that. Well, I guess Pawtucket's not going to get that. But what do they do with this when only 3,200 people show up?
I don't know.
2,000 or 1,000 or 500 or
Yet
60.
to be seen. Yeah. I think it'll be successful because of the market area, because it's new, because it's close enough to Fall River and New Bedford that they can come to the stadium, because that's the demographic. That's the Portuguese communities and Latino communities that are just in love with soccer as a sport that now don't have to drive to Gillette to see the Revolution.
I don't disagree that they'll get crowds to show up. My concern is, what can they afford as a price point on their tickets based upon the economy of the surrounding area?
Right.
And in doing so, will it limit the amount of profitability they have in order to pay off the debt? Because the debt's actually being paid by taxes collected in the Pawtucket area surrounding the stadium.
Right.
And so if they're not generating revenue from that, how are they going to pay the debt? And therefore the state ends up eating some of the debt
Right. I mean,
in order to pay the bill,
they're a
which
business
was never
and-
supposed to happen.
Correct. And they're gonna. I mean, the incentive for them is to not fail. We'll see. The incentive for every business is to not fail. But
Well, they say
again,
they're-
you will see what the demand is. I think at the beginning it'll be very
Oh, I'm sure,
high.
as you say, the ethnicity of the population in the surrounding area is good, and so I could imagine they'll easily get
Right.
probably between 2,000 and 4,000 base
Yeah.
attendance, but it is a 10,000 seat stadium, and I'm sure every high school playoffs and finals will be played there, so
They
they'll
want
be
to do
renting
that.
it.
And colleges.
Colleges will
They
want to play
they
there.
talked concerts. I can't. Concerts are hard to produce, but they talked about those types of things during the summer. Remains to be seen.
It does.
Now they say their ticket sales are good, but that's coming from the team. They don't want to come out and say, "No,
Right.
they're lousy."
Well, I mean, we bought the credit union bought 4 seats at Bryant to get us set up to have 4 seats there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had seats at the Paw Sox, and it's a good entertainment value for members and employees as incentives, and members if they want to come and if we can provide those types of the benefits. So, there's a lot of good business development type generation stuff that happens, but
It's a lot of money.
again, so it's a lot of money for the stadium, no doubt.
Nationwide, I read it's the most expensive minor league soccer stadium.
Gotta be
in
number
the
one in
US. We are
something, right?
Number one. That's right.
Well, you know what? The next one that gets built somewhere will be the next number one. I mean, the prices aren't going down, so.
Right. All right, we brought this up yesterday, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this of Brockton High School, and they want the National Guard, and why is the mayor the head of the school committee in Brockton?
That's automatic, and I think it's automatic in all of Massachusetts, but at least
It is.
much of Massachusetts. I worked for a director when I worked up in Boston for 3 years. The director who was in there for a short time was the former mayor up in Northampton, Mass, and she had served as the school board chair there. It's a
just the way it's
practice
done.
in Massachusetts that the mayor is the school board chair.
In mine, well, I don't have a mayor in my town. We have a town manager,
Okay, is the town?
but there's a superintendent of schools.
But is there a
school
but
committee? School committee.
Is the school committee is the town manager that's
I don't think so. I'll have to look that up.
I'm gonna go to the Google.
look
Go
at
to Google.
fingers and thumbs going at it.
Town
I would
manager.
not be surprised if you find out that that's in fact the
I
case.
didn't. You never hear when he is in the news. He was a former mayor of Attleboro. When he is in the news, you never hear him talking about the schools. It's always what's going on with the town. But anyway, back to the original thought. National Guard brought into the high schools to get order.
In that vein, I urge everyone to go read the Pawtucket version of the Valley Breeze today, and the article about the disruptions by students who were allowed to roam the halls with no discipline being allowed by administration, and the teachers union complaints
Is that
about
Tolman and
just-
Shea?
Tolman and Shea. Teachers are complaining. The kids that are causing trouble are just running roughshod around the school, not attending class, sitting in stairways, disrupting classrooms, just causing all kinds of headaches. And it reminded me of that Brockton story where there is some violence in Pawtucket that they're concerned with, but not as bad as what they're talking about in Brockton. But then Brockton is the home of so many great boxers, so
Two, at least two.
two I know of. Yeah.
I would like to see it done as an experiment to see does their presence quell the violence and the assaults.
In the case of that much violence, yeah, if it's maybe necessary. I hate to see it because even bringing in police was a little unnerving, and I always was irritated by the fact that so many mayors in the state of Rhode Island will not consider asking that the patrol officers who are on the road during the day simply pull
Roll
their
in.
car up, walk into the school, say hello to kids, have lunch with them as part of their routine patrol.
Well, isn't Providence the big district that does not want school resource officers in the schools?
Right.
We don't want them in the schools because we don't want their guns in the schools. We don't want them to be present because they intimidate the kids.
Well, a
Who
lot of the
intimidates the kids
a lot
more?
of the SRO problem. Well, that's the kids' fault. A lot of the SRO problems too are the fact that too many school administrators have been allowed to basically turn all the discipline issues over to the SROs, and that's not their job.
Right.
Yeah.
Their job is actually to act more like community police officers, where they develop relationships with the kids that are friendly. They sit down, they talk with them, they sort of advise them that they shouldn't be hanging around in the hallways. They need to get to class, and it has to make me wonder what the deal is with the Tolman and Shea SROs that these kids are able to run around the school so much. I don't recollect seeing a mention of that in the article this morning when I read it, but their Pawtucket and North Providence editions come out on Wednesday, and I read it online. And it's an interesting article, and it expresses some serious frustrations by the teachers' unions.
I had it incorrect yesterday. I thought the high school principal at Brockton High wanted the National Guard. It's actually the school committee.
School committee that wants it,
wants it in.
Who's your mayor in Mansfield?
Town
Or your
manager
manager
Kevin
is-
Dumas.
So that is one town that does not have any. Their That position is not
And
on the
again-
school board.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it could
But
be a choice of the community.
It's
I don't know.
Town manager may be different than mayor
Could be.
Yes.
or an elected official, because a manager is somebody that's appointed, right?
Is
By the-
appointed. So
Yeah.
you might find that one of the names, whoever the chair is, could be a select
Lynn
board member
Cavici.
chairman.
She is the chairman of the Mansfield School Department.
Okay.
Jenna Walsh, Steve.
I'll dig
Schoenfeld.
deeper during the weather break.
All right. So I wanted to bring this up as well because out of the three of us here, we all had a brief stint, maybe some a little longer than others, like John, working fast food.
Oh, good old days.
They were the good old days. But
Well,
did you?
I didn't do it that long.
Well, longer than us, I bet.
I was 2 years.
I was 2 years.
Yeah, maybe 2 years.
Oh, all right. Then I thought you were longer.
No, just when McDonald's opened in Woonsocket, I was there. And it was only for another year before I got my really upscale job chemical mixing at Peterson Puritan. Prior
Before or after the
prior to the
explosion?
explosion.
Oh man.
Third
Oh,
shift.
were you there?
Third
before the
shift. You
explosion?
don't know what cold is until you've worked a third shift near a loading dock in the middle of January.
Oh,
I actually worked on the loading dock for about 3 weeks.
That sounds perfectly awful.
Though the gentleman who hired me was a very nice man and friend of my father and was doing me a favor, I still only lasted about 3 weeks because it was like loading trucks, January, third shift.
Jeez.
At
Cold.
Tupperware. Yeah, no.
Well, anyway, back to fast food for a minute. There was an incident down in Fall River. 19-year-old guy working at Popeyes Chicken, and now he gets into an argument with a 22-year-old because the 22-year-old guy is complaining that it's taking too long to get his food. So now the 19-year-old allegedly threw a metal tray at the customer during the argument and hit him above his left eye. He had to go to the hospital to
yeah.
get stitches.
Stitches. I saw that.
Popeyes has not made a comment about this yet. I just don't remember really big arguments taking place. Is it
No,
have things
but-
degraded to that much where we're yelling at the fast food workers
That's
now?
why I never wanted to work the cash registers, because number one, I wasn't fast enough, and number two, I was afraid that someone was going to yell at me for something that I couldn't control, like the speed of the food. Because generally, the people in the cash register have no say.
Well, they're
over
not.
the
They're
speed of
not
the food.
cooking.
Right.
That's the point.
Right. So why are you mad at me? And
'Cause you're
so I'm
standing
going to
there
just
and-
throw a tray there, but a metal tray? I thought
It
they
says
were
a
all
metal
plastic.
tray. We had plastic,
Yeah.
hard plastic, but
Right.
it was unless you went in the back and grabbed a metal tray and threw it at them.
Yeah, no, it was those were interesting times, man. But that's when everybody was more civil.
I guess.
Because I don't remember that kind of that kind of behavior. Even when people were mad, they were more annoyed than they were anything else. Let me talk to the manager. Roger Pickard would go over.
You know, he's right here. Or
he's in the
people
register
say,
next to me.
I am the register. I am the manager.
Yeah.
Why is it taking? I don't know. It's
right.
It just is. And you got the usual complaints. The fries are cold.
Right.
I didn't want pickles on the burger, and,
right.
and so. But people, you say, I want another one.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I'm not going to throw it at you, and because it's chaos. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's what happened down at Fall River. Watch out for the flying metal trays.
People have short tempers, man. Short
Yeah.
fuses.
And I wonder how long was too long to get the food.
Well, there's sometimes like I go to a Dunkin' every once in a while, and the drive-up line, and it just seems like it takes forever. And I'm like, what are you doing?
That's a little different.
Are you making cheese or something?
Well, no,
Is the chicken laying the egg before it becomes part of my sandwich?
Since my daughter works at Dunkin's, it's just everyone's got their special order of drinks tweaked just a little.
Yeah.
So everything's going to be made. We're going to make this one a little different.
Right.
And I make this one a little different.
Right.
So that's why Dunkin' line takes so long.
I was interested to find out last night that Rhode Island is not in the top 10 of the most densely populated Dunkin' Donuts franchises.
No?
No.
It's got to be Mass.
Mass, I
Massachusetts.
think, is number 2.
So what's the biggest state? Florida?
So Connecticut was 1.
Really?
Massachusetts, New York. New York was number 1. Mass,
Wow.
Connecticut. And then we weren't even in the top 10.
I'm surprised because that's
Yeah.
always the joke. There's a Dunkin'
Right,
Donuts on
on
every
every
corner.
corner. But there's a
um,
coffee shop on every corner. It may not necessarily be a Dunkin' Donuts.
All right. And I always do this if I'm going to go to Dunkin' Donuts. And I time it. And I don't go to the drive-thru on purpose. And I take a look at the last car
car?
in line.
Let's see if I can
All
beat
right,
that car.
it's a red Toyota Camry. Okay, go in.
now I gotta beat
and
it.
if I come out and they're still in line,
You win.
I have won.
You have one.
And that's I love that. I beat you, you fool. So
I've only had that happen to me once where I went inside and waited because everybody was serving the
Drive-through.
And you're standing there.
And I'm standing there.
Yeah, hello.
And I didn't say that, but the temptation crossed my mind
Don't throw any metal trays.
several times.
All right, we're going to take a break right now and take a look at the forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 37 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 23. Thursday's weather, mostly sunny with a high of 44. Thursday night, a 20% chance of some rain and snow. Friday, rain is likely, mainly after 2 p.m. Cloudy skies and 46. Saturday, sunshine and 32. Sunday, sunshine and 39. Monday, sunshine and 50 degrees projected. And on Tuesday, there's a 30% chance of a shower, mostly cloudy skies and a high of 51.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with sunny skies. We have 28 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Hello, this is Manny Brando. I hope you will listen to us each Sunday morning at 8:30. I will sing your favorite songs, and my wife Virginia will organize everything.
That's right, Manny. It's the Manny and Virginia Show every Sunday morning at 8:30 on ON, AM, and FM radio.
It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with John Ward. Melissa Smith could not be here this week. And Tim Draper. And Tim, don't get scared. It's time for our first message
I'm
from
ready.
Navigant Credit Union.
Ready. Well, thank you, Joe. Hey, I'm inviting everybody out there to an important discussion on how to safeguard you and your loved ones from financial fraud, exploitation, and cyber theft. I want you to come join us at the Elks Lodge on Social Street on March 14th from 10 to 11:30. We're going to have a panel discussion, a panel of experts who will talk to you about how to protect you and your finances. We're going to show you what some scams look like, show you who gets caught in them, and we'll talk about how to protect yourself and the things to look out for. And then, more importantly, what happens if you do fall into the trap and you do get stuck? What do you do? If you think you're a victim of a scam? So we've got Steve Ormerod, our Chief Security Officer. He will be there. As will Richard, I can't think of his last name off the top of my head, from the renowned State Police Cybercrimes Division. We're going to have a member of AARP. I think the Rhode Island director is going to be there. Police Chief Tom Oates has agreed to come and join us.
Oh, great.
And sit on the panel. And we'll have one other expert from the Attorney General's office. So there'll be a panel of law enforcement experts who can be there to answer questions, and we'll show you what some of these scams look like. But space is limited, so we need you to call 233-4700 and ask for Amanda LaRose, my counterpart here on the radio station. She is taking the mantle on the registration process. So you call her at 233-4700, ask for Amanda LaRose, sign up. You can leave her voicemail. I know she's on vacation with her kids this week, so just leave a voicemail message. Or you could email her at LaRose, LAROSE, at navigantcu.org. But don't wait, because again, space is limited. We're probably going to close the registrations down maybe the end of the first week in March, because anybody who wants to go, probably going to provide you with a little bit of a buffet lunch. So
All right.
no charge. Come on in, learn about how to protect yourself against fraud and exploitation.
Very good there, Tim. Thank you very much there. We brought this up yesterday on the Coffee and program. A quick little, once again, about the man from Central Falls who had to surrender his pet alligator.
Didn't he have a few other
He had,
turtles
some,
and
he had some
stuff?
turtles that were too big to be in the enclosure that they were in. But the turtles weren't illegal. The problem was the alligator was.
Yeah.
And
Didn't it bite him or something?
it bit him. Well, that's why we had to go to the hospital.
Good.
Because it was a good size. I mean, it's not a little
No,
tiny thing.
right.
It took 2 arms to carry this thing out. But there's a law in the state of Rhode Island. It was passed in 2010. You can't have pet alligators.
Yep.
But if you have a pet alligator before 2010, then it's okay.
So did this
Grandfather
guy
in.
have it before 2010?
No, he got it in 2014. But he's had it for 10 years. And then it bit him.
He's probably ticked off at the conditions.
And according to DEM, 10 to 15 alligators are pets in the state of Rhode Island. Where? We don't know.
Yeah.
They won't tell you.
No, of course not.
I'm like, but why would you want an
Did you
alligator?
register that, I wonder? If the state
Yes,
knows.
the state knows about these, and it's okay.
All right. There is a
why
reptile.
why do you want one?
I don't know. That's a good question.
They're not cute and cuddly. They
No,
they don't.
It's not like you can lie on the couch with them.
You can't play catch with them. They won't chase the ball.
Eat the rat? I don't know.
Well, they'll do that, I guess. But they need water, and they need.
It's a big aquarium. It's got to be an expense.
It's got to be a huge expense. I don't know why people do this.
I thought there was a place in Providence that was that sold reptiles, different types of animals.
Well, I guess you can get a gecko.
Right.
That'll be
Lizard.
okay. Lizard, and the
Snakes.
ferrets.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's a reptile, but people like having snakes for pets and
Yeah.
spiders and things like that. I don't get it.
I am not one of those people.
No, dog, cat. We had a bird. The bird
Not
was
if you had a
fun.
cat. If you had a cat, the bird was probably
Well, we didn't have the bird and the cat at the same
Oh, I
time.
see.
That's not
Tweety
a good combination.
and Sylvester.
Because the cat usually wins on that on that case. You ever see a cat when it's out hunting?
No.
It is. They are mean, and they are stealth.
Cats
and
are
they're
mean
fast,
anyway, aren't they?
Still.
fast and quick. It's
our-
amazing to watch a
Our
cat.
outdoor cat, there was a evergreen in the yard next door, and our outdoor cat would get up inside the branches. You know how they have levels, so the birds will fly in to get out of the weather. And of course, the cat would get up in the tree at a certain level and just
Lay
wait there,
Wait, yeah.
and wait and wait and wait, and eventually a bird would come in and gone. Wow. Lunch,
Lunch.
Feathers and all.
whatever.
Yeah, just wow. Okay.
Pile of feathers at the bottom of the tree.
They're sneaky little buggers.
Oh, they're excellent hunters.
Yeah.
All right. So we had a little issue at the ACI. 2 correctional officers were injured Sunday morning. They were assaulted by an inmate at the ACI. Happened in the medium security section of the prison when the inmate refused to return to his cell after recreation period. I want to keep playing hoops.
What did the guy think was going to happen? I'm just going to not go back to the jail cell.
I don't know. It's weird. So they had to use pepper spray. This is the amusing part of the story. But they had to use pepper spray. Now, when you use pepper spray,
Goes everywhere.
it goes everywhere, but it creates a slick surface on the floor. And so now 4 other officers were hurt, not because of the assault, because they
Slip and fall?
They slipped and fell on the floor.
Call one of the lawyers in town.
Sort of like the chef in the Three Stooges. when the electricians put water through the plumbers put water through the electrical lines, and he's in the kitchen trying to do things, and he's slipping and falling.
There was a slipping and falling at the ACI. You figured the boots that they wear would have good traction, but apparently not with pepper spray.
Apparently not.
And I didn't know pepper spray did this. I didn't know. It
I
created a
didn't know
slick
either.
Surface on
but
the floor.
I can see
It's got to
it.
be an oil.
I can see a collective
Oil-based.
bargaining issue coming up.
Well, they can't be. Isn't there a shortage of correctional officers? And we can't be out 6.
Get rid of the pepper spray and go to tasers.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have tasers in the
I don't
prisons,
know.
wonder? Well,
Well, you don't want
they're
the
fully armed over there.
I think they're fully armed. I don't think they have tasers.
No, they don't have. They don't have guns inside a prison.
No.
No,
What happens when they have the?
people come in with guns. I'm sure.
No.
I can't imagine a guard who is handling people or escorting
Well, I guess
prisoners
not, 'cause
would
they
have a
could-
gun
yeah,
on,
'cause they
on
could
them.
be taken from them.
because 2 or 3 guys could take that gun in a second.
Yeah.
No.
But you ever see when they go? We got to go into the cell to get the person, and it's usually like
They
6
may-
guys in a,
Yeah.
in a V.
Yeah.
Right.
Do
There
they
may
have
be-
guns?
Well, if probably not.
Yeah.
Probably tasers and sticks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I can't imagine bringing a gun into a detention area where cells are involved
they
and
could get it.
prisoners may be out.
Yeah.
Once you clear a certain area, or if there's mayhem going on, even there, I'm not sure that they bring guns in.
But, do
but
they have guards at the
it's an
top of the
interesting
towers anymore? Do they still have
I don't know.
They you always see
Well,
in
those
every
guys
movie. Those have
seem to
rifles.
Be armed.
I don't know if they still have Shawshank things.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm thinking about.
Because of Shawshank. That's why they don't.
Never take a cigarette from the warden.
Oh no, it's bad. That's a clear indication. This is
That's
the end.
right.
Clear and present danger.
That's right. Yeah, don't do that.
All right, so I didn't know this, but I was at the TD Garden. I knew I was there. TD Garden on Boston, but they had a new bag policy went into effect on the day I was there. They also had a new security system go in place when I was there, which I wasn't aware of. And it wasn't, you go to these places and, okay, take everything out of your pockets and go through the metal detector. They had a new kind of, they don't call it a metal detector, they call it something else, something called like Evolve or something like that. And so but I had to walk through something, but no emptying of the pockets. And no, come over here, or anybody asking me, what is that? Usually it's your phone or something like that. So there was none of that. So it was a new system. But I just thought, oh, wait, maybe we've gotten to the point where we're not doing that anymore. So that was nice. But there's a new bag policy, and it's got its own controversy. I don't know if you've heard it, because it doesn't really affect men. It affects women who bring bags to events. And so if your bag is larger than 6 by 4 by like an inch and a half, you can't bring it in.
Even if they search it?
What?
They can't bring it in.
Where do they get a pocketbook?
You can't bring it in. It's too big. Now, this is what you do. See those lockers over there?
Yeah.
Please put it in one of those lockers. That'll only cost you $15.
Oh,
So here's the controversy.
Wow.
And someone has already said it's a tax on women
It is.
because it doesn't
I'm sorry, it is.
doesn't
Sounds
affect
like it.
men at all.
It is.
Sounds like it.
Well, when someone put it that way, they said,
what
"Well,
happens if
you're
somebody's
right."
got a coat with one of those big pouches inside that's bigger than the size of a bag?
That's okay. But if you've got a bag slung over your shoulder, bigger than these dimensions,
Somebody did not think that
You
through.
can't bring it in.
Yeah.
And it's what maybe they did. They said it's a way to get extra money.
Sure, that's
So
what
I don't know what the garden's going to do
I
about it,
gotta
but
tell you, if I were a woman, that would turn that into a
civil lawsuit.
GTFOH.
I was there with my daughter, and then but she didn't. It didn't affect her. She didn't have anything like this. She had something strapped around her wrist that basically was like a wallet and phone
But wait a minute.
combination
Wait a
thing.
minute. Let's be clear now. They never take cash anywhere anymore, right?
Well, basically no.
Okay. So the only thing you really need to do is to
Bring a credit card.
bring your credit card, a photo ID, just in case,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it.
Your phone, because your tickets
And
are
your
on
phone.
the phone.
Tickets
so there
are
you
on
go.
the phone.
Tickets on the phone. Got your photo ID.
Yes, one
You got your
credit card. You got to buy something.
Or you don't even need the credit card if it's on your phone.
yeah,
But what if you're going out to dinner and you got to
then
freshen
you
up?
put it in your pockets, which means women will have to buy some clothing with pockets for a change.
but they don't have any.
And well, if they have a coat, they'll
Oh,
be able
okay.
to coat. But if it's not a coat, then if it's that type of weather, then you'd have to have pants with a pocket, buy some denim, and that would be all you really should
Go to-
plan to bring into a game.
Go to the men's department.
Just go to Old Navy.
But
Buy some jeans.
I mean, leave your wallet locked up in your car somewhere, or locked up. And
All right.
leave it at home
Well,
if you're not driving.
That's
Or
the
even
new
if you
deal
are
there
driving.
at the garden in Boston. The no, I was wearing a Bruins sweatshirt that
Oh, yeah.
had the pockets in the middle.
Watch the game on TV.
It was very
There's
comfortable.
an idea. But my
cost
daughter
me
gave me her phone case wallet thing. Could you just slip that into your pocket because she had no place to put it while she was.
Hence the
munching
pocket
on food.
conversation John
Yeah.
just mentioned.
So you should have. Well, she said her sweatshirt was on underneath her Bruins jersey and she couldn't reach the pockets. So, but I could. So that's what I did. But that's the new policy there, and we'll see if they come up and change it, or change the dimensions of the bag because it seems pretty small. 6x4 is not. It's not very big at all. So.
No.
Or stay home and watch the game.
That's a large index card.
Yeah, basically. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and program. So, Tim, time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union.
Following up on my first message, they didn't get a chance to say, but this is really not just about seniors. I mean, we talk about Senior Safeguard. That's kind of the name of the program. But we are finding that people of all ages and all spectrums of life are really falling for some very sophisticated fraud attempts. There was just a story in the news about a financial reporter from, I think it was the New York Times, who got scammed for $50,000. Now, this woman said, I'm a financial reporter.
Yeah. Wow.
And I
got
got scammed. And then she went into the levels of detail that she went into about how the scam took place and why she thought it was legitimate. Because of the amount of information that they had about her, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the scary part. The other scary part that we've learned about here is how artificial intelligence is going to be playing a role in fraud attempts going forward. So, again, not that we're trying to scare anybody, but we're trying to heighten your awareness of what's going on with a program like this. Mm-hmm. And if you have questions about any of that stuff, our panel of experts are really there to try to answer those in the hour and a half that we're going to have. So I highly suggest that if you're interested in that topic, come by. We tried to put it in the middle of the day, so it's easy for folks to get to, 10 to 11:30 over the Elks Lodge on Social Street. And again, if you're looking to register, please do so at A. LaRose, LAROSE, at navigantcu.org, or just give us a call, 233-4700, and leave a voicemail for Amanda with your name and phone number, and then she'll get back to you.
All right. Thanks, Tim. I'm glad that on your cell phones, for the majority of the time, it'll say spam risk or potential spam on a phone call, so you just don't answer it. But it's not perfect.
It's not.
And sometimes I see the calls come in Knoxville, Tennessee, and
I've seen them come in
Washington. I said, I don't know anybody in that town.
Right.
So leave a message, and then we'll see if I get back to you. And they never do.
But sometimes they come through 333 and then 4 numbers, and that's Cumberland. And I'm sitting there going, oh, right, well, this must be somebody that I know. Pick it up, and it's, hello, this is Juan from wherever. And I'm like, oh, my God, how did I get this call? Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure they'll go over that at that meeting.
Right. All right. That's what we're going to talk about.
When I get a call from somebody that sounds like they're from Pakistan and they're trying to sell me a solar plan.
Yeah. My name's John.
Or James. Yeah.
No, that ain't working for me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. More coffee and coming your way. Stay tuned.
To avoid long waiting periods in hospital emergency rooms, your option is North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, where you'll be seen by a board-certified physician in a comfortable and restful setting. Most importantly, you'll have a diagnosis and information about your medical discomfort. In other words, peace of mind. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, across from the Lincoln Mall. You do have a choice.
Hi, everyone. This is Bill Schneck with the Autumn Fest Steering Committee. I am very happy to announce that on Thursday, February 22nd, there will be a benefit dinner at Cello's Restaurant, 490 Clinton Street, here in Woonsocket. Take your family out to dinner at Cello's or order takeout to enjoy at home from Cello's, and up to 20% of your dinner order value, excluding tax and tip, will be donated to Autumn Fest, Inc. Please pick up your free Autumn Fest dinner certificates for Cellos at this radio station, WOON Radio, 985 Park Avenue here in the city, or any member of the Autumn Fest Steering Committee. One certificate will cover your entire group. Certificates will not be available at Cellos that night. I look forward to seeing you and your family down at Cellos Restaurant for dinner on Thursday night, February 22nd. And as always, I greatly appreciate your ongoing support of Autumn Fest. Thank you very much.
It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper and John Ward. Nice to have you with us as well. And the CEO of the rideshare company Lyft, his name is David Risher, and he's very happy with Taylor Swift. Not particularly her, but the her tour that went around the country here, because his bottom line is awesome. Traffic to and from the stadiums, the hotels was significantly up when Swift was in town, anywhere from 25 to 60%. And he also told Richard told Yahoo Finance that Swifties tend to tip 3 times higher than your average Joe. That's because they're so happy because they're going to the show and happy coming home and so that's great. And sure, here's another $50 for you.
Well, what the heck? If you're going to pay $1,000 for a ticket, you may as well tip well.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you're right. So
She sent her jet for Travis Kelce the other day, too, by the way. Sent it back to the U.S. to pick him up, bring him to Australia, because that's where she is now. How
sent
nice is
her
that?
jet
She
to
sent
get him?
her jet
To get
to
him.
go get Travis
wow.
so he could be with her. What a great couple.
But it's a solar-powered jet, right?
Oh, I'm sure that it is. Electric.
You know what else I heard she did?
What does Greta have to say about this?
Greta Van, whatever her name is.
Thune. Greta Thune.
I saw a funny joke on Facebook with her picture saying that all guitars must be electric by 2030. I thought that was funny. But Taylor Swift gave $100,000
Yes,
right.
to the family of the woman that died in Kansas City.
I think that's
I said,
beautiful.
wow.
It's a great.
Good for
yep,
her.
Good for her.
So, and they charged 2 adults with murder.
And two juveniles.
2
Too, right?
juveniles are going to be charged
And
as well. I'm
after
not
2
sure if they're
days,
going to be charged
after 2 days, they finally released a picture of one of them,
of one of the adults or the kids.
one of the adults.
Oh, okay.
They're just abusing the Kansas City, the media really, because they talk about, well, we can't show you pictures of the kids that are
Well, right,
under
'cause they're
18,
underage. Mhm.
and so somebody flashed up the mugshot of Kyle Rittenhouse. Said, yeah, right.
The kids are
Or,
going
or
to
the kid with the headdress and the
Yeah, oh,
the
yeah,
black
that's right,
side
black
of his
and red
face,
side and the other
with the
side.
with the 2 colored face that
Yeah,
they said,
he's
oh yes,
awful.
we need to protect the children.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
The two juveniles out there in Kansas City, they're going to be at least charged with gun-related charges.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to be charged with murder. They say they know it was one of the adults that actually fired the shot that killed the woman.
Yeah.
I don't know how they know
He's
that.
pretty
but
much
okay.
admitted it.
has he
Because
admitted
the
it?
story I read this morning in the New York Post,
Mm-hmm.
I don't read the New York Post. It was connected through Google News, but he spoke like he basically said, I did something stupid. And,
All right,
and
that's
I don't
kind
know
of
whether
an
it was
admission.
him that's precipitated the confrontation with
Yeah.
guns and the other guy shot, but they're both going to get charged in any case with second-degree murder, I'm sure. But one of them admitted he did something really stupid in taking out a gun and letting it escalate to the way it was.
All right.
And contrition is a wonderful thing, and give him plenty of time in prison to think about it, and find God.
All right. Well, I guess there's just not enough stuff going on in Florida. The Florida Senate is going to take up. They're expected to take up a social media ban for kids.
Interesting.
Today. Yeah, the measure would prohibit anyone under the age of 16 from creating an account and require platforms to delete existing profiles run by minors. It was revamped by lawmakers last week to specify which platforms are being targeted. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has not publicly supported the legislation, saying it's, quote, to be determined, unquote, whether he will sign it if it passes the state legislature. Current session is set to wrap up early next month.
That is an interesting conversation because that's what were they talking about yesterday about the phones in schools?
Yep.
About how
Right.
they're taking phones away in some schools and putting them in either lock boxes or those bags.
Yeah.
The lock boxes cost $10,000. The bags cost like $30,000 or some crazy thing like that. But you can't get at them until the end of the day.
I forgot what school I saw did a walkout. Also saw that on the internet because they took their phones. It was some high school. I'm thinking Wisconsin, but I could be completely off on that. So, but I'm not sure. So
I don't know. I think that it's just a distraction for the kids in class. I just don't know why you would need a phone.
but some classes, I know this through my daughter and her.
That's their calculator.
It's the calculator. Okay, take out your phone. We need you to look something up. And they actually used it as part of the class to go on the internet to find whatever information they had to go.
Well, that's why
look
they
for.
have smart boards in front of school classrooms now, so that they can look it up right there
I
on the
know,
screen
it's
in front
easier
of
to
everybody.
just-
Seems
you
to me
do
like
it.
there's a better way to do that. maybe the
There
old-fashioned
is.
way, or let the teacher look it up, or
Yeah.
something. But
But it was the whole class. Okay, all 25 of you. You
why would you want them
Whatever
all
your
to
project
individually
is.
look up the same thing?
Yeah, that's
But I think they were different things. You know, you're looking up something, John. You're looking up something. I'm looking up something different. That's all related to the topic. I don't have the specifics because I just don't.
How did we ever survive and get educated without all this technology? How did that happen?
We had books, encyclopedias.
That's right, we did. Encyclopedia Britannica,
We went to the card catalog.
Dewey Decimal Systems. And
we
such.
focused on basics, not on extraneous internet gobbledygook that you suck in from outside.
Right.
Oh, look, a cat video.
and worry about the other things that they're learning today. I'm not going
Lots
to go
of
into
other
it too
things.
deeply.
Right.
All right. We I don't know if you heard the story. There was a United Airlines flight, San Francisco to Boston, had to land. There was a problem with the wing.
Yes,
Oh, was that
landed in Denver.
was that the flap in the front?
Yes.
The pilot came out and sat next to the guy. Goes, it's a problem. Went back to the cockpit and said, "We're being diverted back to so and so."
Brought back memories of my flight from Baltimore to Harrisburg on a prop job that
Well, that's gonna be a short flight.
we took off, and all of a sudden we were banking to the right and turning around, and it's like he comes on. There were only about 12 of us on the plane. He comes on. He says, "I'm afraid we're going to have to go back." The landing gear wouldn't come up.
Ooh.
Yeah, well,
It's like okay.
Okay.
And
At least
when-
it was
course,
down.
Of course, then when they fixed it, you take off again and you say, "But will it come down again?"
this time. We didn't have a chance to practice that.
that's right.
But it just reminded me with the flapping on the United Airlines, the Twilight Zone episode of William Shatner's looking
out on
at
the wing?
the gremlin out
Yeah,
there
the gremlin
ripping
with-
up on the wing. But good news from the airlines. Delta Airlines has come out with this. They're offering flights so you can view the total solar eclipse that is coming
I
in,
saw
in
that.
Oh,
April.
that's cool.
Yeah, the airline announced it for April 8th. One flight specially designed is going to follow the path of the totality of the
Right,
the
the
eclipse.
wind-
So you have to leave Austin, Texas, on the flight at 12:15 Texas time.
Yep.
And it's flying to Detroit.
Yep.
And they're going to have a plane that's got extra large windows so
Windows.
everybody can see.
Yep.
And
They have those.
it's an A220-300.
That's
Yeah.
It just says extra large. I don't know
That's
how
a
much.
big jet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the flight to see the totality. Delta is saying they're offering other flights that will offer at least a partial view of the solar eclipse.
No
but I
skylights
guess
on
you
the
got
plane.
No skies on the plane.
But I guess you got to get down to Texas and take off.
But I
from
mean,
there,
even
so.
with a big window, what are you looking at except darkness? Really? I mean,
Can you see
can't-
the
you can't- I don't know
corona?
how you're going to be able to
Well,
see
the
up
question is-
above.
What side of the plane are you going to be on to see it?
Yeah.
Because if it's above you, nobody's going to see it.
If it's above
If
you,
it's off
that's
to
it.
the- If
Nobody's
it's off
gonna
to the side,
These people on the left can't see it.
yeah. Everybody move to the left of the airplane. That's not a good idea.
I'll give you a better idea. Take off from Los Angeles at 9 p.m. and land in New York. And, or vice versa. Take off in New York at 9 p.m. and land in Los Angeles. You'll get the same result. You'll be flying in the dark the whole time.
Right. Right.
I don't get it.
It's
Now,
it's
if you
a
told me that there was some,
marketing thing.
if you told me there was some super fast train that was going to race between Dallas and Detroit and had a straight
Oh.
line, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Because then your windows can go up above your head and you can see.
They need to do is they need to put.
I don't think
like
I'm
they
gonna-
have in the A380s. They have the cameras in the tail of the plane, so you can actually. One of the TV options in the plane is you can watch the takeoffs and landings from the camera in the tail over the front of the plane. So you can see everything facing forward.
Get up there.
Should do that.
That's even better than the pilot's view.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why they don't do that on every
It's a lot
plane.
of-
They must be thinking that that's a.
When you're on those jets, you look out the front window when they open the door after the flight's over, and you realize they don't see the ground when they're landing.
Oh.
They're doing it all on faith.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we hope
and a
we-
little voice that goes 50, 40,
Yeah.
30.
Sensors.
Well, the sensor says that's right. The landing gear is down. I hope it's right.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
3 little green triangles.
I think
It's
I'd
all-
like a
it's all
camera
good.
on that to show me.
All right. The not a good story here out of Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County officials had to put down 13 dogs because the dogs killed their owner.
Oh.
Man was found dead from a mauling at his Compton, California home. Investigators believe the pit bulls,
Shocking.
got into a fight during feeding time.
Poor innocent dogs.
I know. They got into a fight during feeding time and then turned on him. you didn't bring out enough
Because
food.
he had the food, and
Yeah.
then he didn't have any.
Yeah, Dominic Cooper was breeding and selling pit bulls, and the animal control officials tell TV station out in L.A. dogs were destroyed because they posed a threat to the community.
Sounds like
They turn on one, they're going to turn on others.
a crowd at a soccer game in Brazil.
Or England.
Or England.
Or England,
The
right.
hooligans are up there.
Germany or Mexico.
Common denominator.
When they run
Soccer.
out of food at the concession stand.
Well,
We've only got 4 left. But there's 40 of us.
time for chaos. All right.
That's right.
That'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for
Oh,
listening
no,
in,
say it
everyone.
ain't so,
Yes.
Joe.
Tim Draper, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Thanks, John, for being here.
Thanks for being here, John.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your
Glad
meeting
to be
tonight.
here.
2 minutes. Count it.
All
Time
right.
us.
Maybe I'll set the
Maybe
timer. I'll
5.
hit the timer as I start the meeting and
Yeah.
shut the timer off when I finish the meeting, and we'll see how long it takes. Maybe we can measure it in seconds.
Hey, maybe.
But in any
Shortest,
case, yes.
shortest meeting on
Thank
record.
you very much for having me, and everybody enjoy this early spring coming next week. Enjoy the God-given day.
All right. Thanks. Melissa Smith will join us next week. This is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a great day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A Rhode Island state